Yeah, so I'm here with Doug at the Rocky Mountain RMRRF Fest 2025, and we're revisiting something we looked at last year, which is the Cascade, a Voron CNC machine, and it's right here. It's going to look somewhat similar to what it looked like last year. Mostly to the untrained eye, but a lot has changed under the hood, and there's quite a bit involved in taking a functional prototype of a DIY CNC and turning that into something that you can just go, here's the files, here's the BOM, make one yourself. So Doug here is going to go over some of the changes and revisions, and basically it's been a year. People are like, why isn't it out yet? Well, we're going to find out right now. So Doug, take it away.
Thank you. Again, this is Cascade. This is the Voron CNC. We did show a working prototype last year to show people that this is coming. That was something that we're working on. But in the time since then, in the year or so since then, about 75% of this machine has been thrown away and recreated. We've redesigned and moved around a lot of the componentry and parts. We have, from what was shown off last year, there's a complete new electronics enclosure. We've redesigned the entire electronics package, created something that I would want to use to make parts and things with. We've got a touchscreen running G-Sender from CNC Labs. The super great interface to manage the CNC from.
So what firmware is this running?
This is running the Gerbil HAL firmware, which is super commonly known, very widely accepted in the community. We're specifically running on 2 different boards. We decided, I decided to not use 3D printer boards with this, which was a hard decision to make.
Because you had that originally. I think we have one.
We do.
Yeah.
So here's the problem with doing 3D printer boards. You end up with this whole mess to get all the inputs and outputs working to make it work right.
Yeah, because CNC like spindles run at controls run at 0 to 10 volts, and there's all kinds of little differences.
Correct. And you've got all these different inputs and outputs that you need, from end stops and sensors and 0 to 10 volt outputs and everything else that have got to make it work right, which those boards aren't necessarily made for. Even last year and even currently now, we have the FlexiHAL, which is this board right here, made by a company, I think it's Expatria in Canada. And great, solid board, very well known in the industry. This is the new Big Tree Tech Scylla. They just released that, a few months ago. This is a great board, all in one. You've got 5160 drivers on it. It can talk RS-485 to the VFD, all the different outputs, works great. So
it's almost like this was designed to kind of work in a machine just like that.
It's almost as if it was. And and all of that goes into a side enclosure, which has lots of space. It's a little bit messy in here because it is a dev box. But we've got a FlexiHAL, we've got external drivers, VFD, and all of our power supplies.
So we actually do have a separate, this one has a Scylla in it, right?
That one has a Scylla in it, but it's still, that's Steve's. He just finished yesterday, a couple days ago. I'm going to help him turn it on for the first time this weekend.
Okay. So if I have footage of that, I'll cut to it now.
Yeah, sure.
And if I don't, you won't ever hear this part because I'll edit it out.
And we'd like to, it's a lot of small stuff we're finishing up, like ease of access into here. This was originally a whole bunch of screws, and we designed again, it's just quality of life, making sure this is easy to use, easy to manage.
So those are some of the changes. So what are the actual specs of the machine?
So basic working area here, this is a 280 in X, 220 millimeters in Y, and 80 in Z. There is a 1.5 kilowatt, 24,000 RPM spindle available in either ER11 or ER16 collet sizes. I've got a couple options on here, such as the Air Blast.
Yeah, you have a mister here.
I have a mister here with a side solenoid control, so we actually have software controlling this. And a full enclosure with a door switch. So there actually is a safety switch underneath of here that if you open the door, it will actually shut off for safety.
And it also, the enclosure keeps the chips all in.
Yes.
You have these nice little gutters here.
Yes. And we even have we repurposed some other Voron parts This is the sex bolt end stop that we use for a tool setter. So there's actually a switch is actually underneath the table.
Oh, nice.
And it's super low profile versus some of the other tool setters that are like this tall. What we're getting very close to, like, this is probably 90-95% done for development side. After this is writing probably about 500 pages of documentation.
Yeah, it's always the boring part that you save for last, is making the actual manual.
And we can't reuse any of our other documentation for how you start up a 3D printer. We have to do an entirely new set of documentation for how to start up and use this.
Yeah, because the thing with like a 3D printer, if you mess up a 3D printer, it can hurt you.
Yes.
You mess up with this machine, it can do a lot more than just hurt you.
I was doing some testing with the Z end stop the other day, trying to get the macros working, and snapped a 1/4-inch end mill.
Ooh, yeah.
It moved right through the mill and just snapped it clean off.
And this spindle is what, 24,000 RPM?
24,000 RPM.
You break a carbide cutter at 24,000 ripums, it's going flying.
That's why this enclosure, actually this one isn't the right enclosure. This one, the new spec is 5 millimeter thick polycarbonate.
Yeah, because you need that in case something shatters.
Yes.
Okay.
We got to make sure that we protect people from doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
It is not fully enclosed because all of this gets really complicated, makes it really awkward.
You would pretty much have to build a box that covers the entire machine if you want to fully
it's a little weird. That's a choice that I have made if people want to do mods. Like, I super encourage people to build mods on this, of like, make it different, build a full enclosure, do the things. Maybe I'll steal some of it for R2. I don't know, we'll see.
Okay, and for those that have been wanting to build one of these, do we have a timetable, kits, anything like that?
Soon.
Air quotes, soon.
Yeah, I had fully planned to have this released by the end of last year, by this show this year. Life got in the way.
It happens.
Yeah, I ended up having to take almost half a year off from this.
Yeah.
And so I'd love to have it done by the end of the year, but I don't know if I'm really hesitant to commit to that.
It's actively getting worked on. When it gets done, it gets done. Because for those at home that don't remember, Voron is entirely volunteer. Nobody here is getting paid.
Correct.
It's all hobby.
I do this in my free time.
Yep.
And I do have a full-time day job that's not this.
Yeah.
I love doing this.
And it's coming along very well. Like, the machine looks damn good.
We have one of our beta testers in Europe, one of my beta testers in Europe, built one of these and is actively making CNC printer parts. Like, he's just using it.
Yeah, because this machine will cut. You have some Delrin examples here.
It has Delrin, aluminum, both cut really easily.
And we did find out it will do steel.
It will do steel very carefully.
Yeah.
But it can do mild steel.
Yeah. So for an at-home, if you're looking for like a DIY equivalent of something like a Makara Air or something, this would be a route you could go down.
Exactly,
if you wanted to.
for sure. And admittedly, right now the market is full of people doing all sorts of projects. I'm not expecting this is suddenly going to revolutionize the world. This is me going, this is what myself and all the folks at Voron think makes a great desktop CNC. That's our choice. And if people choose other things, that's great. Build one, please.
The joy of not having to sell something is if nobody buys it, okay.
That's fine. This is what I built, what I and some of our other people want to see made.
Yep.
And that's what we do.
And if you want to build one yourself, here you go.
Here it is.
So.
And I love it. I want to see people build them. I want to see people that can make things.
Awesome. So hopefully the next update on this machine is me building one.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and we have been in talks with like LDO to build kits out of it. Okay. There is interest from them to build kits. I expect there will be kits available whenever we get to releasing it.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you very much, Doug.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.
Coverage for this year's Rocky Mountain RepRap Fest is sponsored by LDO Motors. For printer parts, kits, accessories, and more, check them out at the link in the description.